Hello there, and welcome back to X-Rated Talk Productions. Today, we're going to try something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I was originally going to do this back in October for my Tacoween videos. Kind of ran out of time, but I always wanted to do one of these. It's a choose your own adventure book. This one's Escape from the Haunted Warehouse. Essentially, think of it like a adventure game, like a Telltale style adventure game where you can at certain points choose between a couple of different options to do something like, give one person food versus another person food that may help you out later, may get killed, whatever. This is like a hard copy version of something like this, so you can see like different paths here on the back. This is the 185th Choose Your Own Adventure book in this series. There are 14 different endings. I figured we read this and go as far as we can. If we hit a dead end, that's it. Well, let's read. Beware and warning. This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. There are dangers, choices, adventures, and consequences. You must use all your talents and intelligence to determine how the story ends. The wrong decision could end in disaster and even death. But you don't despair. At any time, you can go back and make another choice. We're not doing that. After all, the path of your story can change its result. It all starts when you need a summer job to go buy textbooks, put gas in your car. So you answer a mysterious ad for a graveyard shift at a spooky warehouse. Del Grady gives you the job on the spot. He tells you that the warehouse store movie props and aisle after aisle boring boxes full of boring stuff. Or does it? Your solo nighttime hours mean whole ships spent alone in this eerie place. Grady can't seem to keep everything under control. You must battle a long-dead countess who wants your head, a bloodthirsty wolfhound, and a sharp-shooting team of ghost hunters who work for the FBI. You signed up for a paycheck. Will you live to see another summer? Oh, we got a little map here. And there's a crystal lake. Wow, I feel like some of these are actually references. There's there's also a red room. Is that like a Twin Peaks reference? Yeah, and Crystal Lake, Big Gulch. There's an ad here. Super summer job opening. Are you exceptional? A self-starter? Able to work on your own? Open to working the graveyard shift? Not bothered or scared about working in the darkness of deep night? If an answer to all the above is yes, then apply for a new warehouse intern position. Tired of the cutthroat rat race real world? Spend your summer preparing for magical, mystical, mysterious productions. Competitive wages, frequent, light, and occasional heavy lifting required. Apply in person at our facility at 999. Oh, that's 666 upside down. Clin Road, 2 blocks past Field Cemetery. No calls Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 3 p.m. Blah, blah, blah. All beings welcome to apply. No background checks. Position must be filled. Apply tonight. As strange as the ad was, you are desperate enough to find a job that you decide to take a chance. Your gas tank is running empty, and the night is dark as you drive past the old crematory on the edge of town. Pulling up to the huge, hulking form of the mostly dark warehouse, you feel a twinge of fear. Why am I in the middle of nowhere at night, you ask yourself. But you enter the strange building complex anyway. There is no one in the front room, but there is a neatly hand-lettered sign that says, Warehouse, interned applicants, this way. You follow the sign and knock on the open doorway of the small, old-fashioned office. Stacks of paper and a corded telephone are the only things on the desk except for a nameplate. Warehouse manager, Mr. Del Grady. A man is writing on a sheet of paper. He is slight, oldish, and deeply pale. He wears a striped suit and a skinny tie. Come in. You're late, he says without looking up. I don't think so, you reply. He looks up at you and gives a short laugh. Ha! You're late for the graveyard shift. It's 12:01, after the witching hour. You nod in response, not knowing else what to do. There are directions in the bottom here. It says turn to the next page, because you gotta do flippy flopping around to get to the ending you want. You'll be moving items boxed up from place to place in the building. Mr. Grady explains. He shows you around the huge, darkened warehouse. You'll be busy, he adds with a sharp laugh. There's lots to move. We aren't shipping out from the warehouse, just moving around inside of it. Why? You ask as you follow him into a cavernous storage area with metal shelves rising far above your head into the deep darkness and off into the distance. Well, yes, of course we do ship things sometimes, you see, Mr. Grady says with a long pause before continuing. Certain items need to be in certain places at specific times. We are a very specialized storage and delivery warehouse. We send things to movies, Hollywood, props, scenery, that kind of stuff, he explains. Ah, here we are, he says as you reach the red door with the words employees only stenciled in white. This is your locker room where you change into your work uniform. Mr. Grady? I'm not sure I've actually accepted the job yet. I haven't even filled out the application, you say. Is that so? He says, turning to face you in the weak red light from the caged emergency bulb above the door. It feels like you're already part of the family. Anyway, you'll be perfect, he says, opening the door to the locker room. Turn to page 4. I'm sorry. Got an illustration of the homie showing us around. 3, 4. Okay. Sorry, there's nothing weird here yet. As you navigate through the dark warehouse, several days later you wonder, why did I take this job? You need the money for tuition, not to mention books, school supplies, gas, and food. After your weird interview, you scramble to find something else, anything else. A job at the pizza parlor fell through, and your Uncle Charlie couldn't afford to bring you on his landscaping company because work had slowed down for his crew. You are a true night owl now, spending your days sleeping. Your overnights in dark hallways, pushing thousands of pounds of boxes and crates from storage room to storage room. Going to the next page. Sorry, I'm not going to mention it unless it tells you to do something specific now. Sorry. From the day you had your interview until now, everything seemed mysterious. The only cool thing is the powered hand lift that you used to move all the stuff from place to place. Model B200, powered hand truck with the stencil Beware 1 for a warehouse. Shut the fuck up. It is your only company most nights. Your assistant, Beware 1, helps you lift huge pallets and zip them up around. Occasionally you find yourself talking to Beware 1 as if it were a person. You use your hand to steady the load you just scooped up. Boxes are too long to fit on the pallets neatly. Sweat starts to drip into your eyes and off the end of your nose. It has been a hot, humid summer, and you wish this was the latest heat. And you wish this latest heat wave would break. Hot tonight, beware, you say out loud. Got an illustration of a Beware 1. The dim flickering lights that line the hallway give everything a spooky look, and you can't wipe your sweaty face because you need both hands to guide Beware when he's all loaded up. All the mass on your buddy, it's hard to stop once it gets moving. The first few times you have to move a big load, you would bang into the walls and go side by side like a bowling ball, with kitty bumpers in the gutters, but now you've gotten the hang of it. You know when to apply slight pressure to move the Beware in the right direction. What's in these boxes, you wonder for probably the thousandth time this summer. No one has told you anything about what the warehouse holds. You've not learned much more about the company since Mr. Grady's explanation at your interview, but at least they pay you. Mr. Grady scheduled you for the graveyard shift from midnight until 8 a.m. so that everything would be in place for the next night. You've only seen Mr. Grady twice since. I'll be in my office down the main corridor. My door is always open. He must have meant it figuratively, as every time you've passed it, you've seen the door shut, so the light peeking out from with it. And my door is always open. He must have meant that figuratively, as every time you've passed it by, it has been shut, with no light peeking out from under the door. The warehouse is a huge complex with a vast underground network of tunnels connecting multiple buildings. You and Beware work alone, but sometimes you hear the machinery running in the other buildings while you work. Boom, chunk, crack. Occasionally you see dark shadows or silhouettes in the lit windows in other buildings, but you never see any other workers. Each night you go in to the empty locker room to find a list with helpful highlighted maps of what you are supposed to move from location to location. Every spot in the warehouse is labeled with numbers and names. Move Usher Crate 21 to room 13 in the Winchester complex. Or take Borden Box 40 to Dragon's Home Slot 12 in the Lalaurie building. But there is never a description of what's inside. Your revere is broken by a scream or a howl coming from the doorway directly to the left of Beware. The cart crashes into the wall, and the wooden... Okay, sorry. I see options. The cart crashes into the wall, and the wooden pallet stacked with cardboard boxes crunches and breaks. You have to dive to keep the box from sliding and hitting the floor. The howl scream stops for a second, then it starts again. Is it a person or an animal crying in pain? You try the door, but it won't open. Unlike many of the other locked doors in the warehouse, this one does not have a padlock, and the door itself is a flimsy one with loose hinges. You might be able to break it down if you really tried. Or you could go get Mr. Grady. He has the keys to all of the rooms. What should you do? The scream starts up again. You have to do something. I have two options here. Option 1. If you try and break the door down, turn to page 20. If you decide to get Mr. Grady and the key, turn to page 33. I'm thinking 20. I'm going to break the door down. Go to page 20. Pushing the trolley out of the way with all of your strength, you slam your shoulder against the door, but it doesn't break. You try again, and while it rattles in the frame, it holds firm. Wiping your brow, you look at the Beware unit. Of course, you say out loud to yourself. Using the Beware as a battering ram, you get some speed and smash into the door. The door splits in two. Beware gets lodged in the opening, blocking your path. It takes a minute or two to pull it back out. Meanwhile, screaming doesn't stop. It gets worse. You crawl under the broken door into the dark room where the noise is coming from. Taking out your phone and putting it into the flashlight mode, you look around. The noise is coming from the corner of the room, but it's empty. All you see is a large utility sink with water streaming out of the faucet. Maybe there's an animal trapped in the sink that is making the noise. Approaching the sink cautiously, ready for the trapped rat or raccoon to snap, you shine your light into the basin. All you see is water swirling in the whirlpool down the drain. The sound is coming from the water. It's coming from the water as it drains out of the sink. Turning both knobs to shut off the water, you relax as the scream stops when the last of the water empties. Okay. I think we'll call it from here for the first part of this video. Thank you so much for watching.